Jared Goff is now a Detroit Lion in a trade that's straight out of the NBA.
I'd say two things about Jared Goff right now as he transitions from the Rams to the Detroit Lions. First of all, it's a great opportunity for him to create his own identity.
Getting a quarterback in his mid-20s who also played for the GM while he was with the Rams, which means that he probably has a lot of confidence in Jared.
How's everybody doing?
His first move at his new organization, and his first move ever as a general manager, is to go acquire the player that he knows just about as much as anybody, or better than anybody.
And if you look at the 4 years statistically, since everybody likes the analytics and look at the statistics, Jared Goff is on a trajectory of potentially being a Hall of Famer one day.
Goff is solid. The only quarterback who's won more games since Goff was drafted is Brady.
Hell of a quarterback, man. And I keep trying to tell people, hell of a quarterback.
I've seen in my 7 years in the league in person. Very, very good, man.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to see all of you. I think, look, today's a big day for us, and, for multiple reasons. I would start with this, is that everything that Brad and myself said that we wanted to do, which started with Sheila and Rod, was to bring in the right people that fit our mold and fit what this community's about, what this team's about, which really is grit. I mean, that's kind of the common theme here. It really is. Another way to put it is football character. And so with that, before I get to who I'm going to introduce here, I just want to, with that in mind, some of these additions that we've added, man, they fit that criteria. No, starting with Romeo Okwara, to get him back, everything that he stands for, what he's about, his football character, right? The ability to rush the passer, his high fashion. Jalen Reeves-Maben, all right, we got him back. We love his effort. We love his football intangibles. He gives us versatility. We got Don Muehlback, Don back, and veteran guy who we know exactly what he is. He's dependable in the job that he does. Tyrell, you guys know, he was one of the first ones we signed. And, Tyrell, the thing about him is, man, he's kind of a quiet guy. He's a little reserved, but he is ultra competitive. And he gives us a little juice on the perimeter. Josh Hill, who I had in New Orleans, man, he fits the mold. Man, there is a role for him. He's tough. He's smart. He's a team guy. All the things that we've talked about. And the three guys that we have really in today that are all currently getting physicals is Michael Brockers, Jamal Williams, and then Tim Boyle. And so we're hoping to finalize those this afternoon. I'd say this about Brockers. He's probably one of the few in this league that could wield the hammer of Thor. So we're real excited about that. All right, now to the main attraction for the day. I would say this, with all that in mind, all right, when everything transpired here that we could not talk about, we were so excited to get this thing done. Because this player is really everything that we're looking for from that standpoint. And grit is there's so many different ways to define grit, but I would say this, physical grit is one thing, and you need people, you need players that way, but you'll never have physical grit without mental grit, and that's what this player I'm about to announce has, okay? This guy, there's three things that I think about with Jared Goff. He's tough, he's durable, and most importantly, he's a winner. He has won in this league. He knows how to win. And I told him this, and I'm going to continue to tell him, all we need from him is to come in and play quarterback. You just play quarterback. You don't have to be a savior here. You just be the quarterback. His job is to make the right decisions, put the ball on the receivers, give them a chance to make a play, and our receiver's job is to freaking get open and separate. And if the ball hits your hands, you better find a way to come down with it. That's your job. So he's going to be just fine at that, and what he brings to the table is plenty enough. All right, this guy's going to give us the ability to win games, and I love his quiet confidence. All right, I know he's hungry. You're about to hear from him, but man, we were thrilled to have this guy. So without further ado, Jared Goff.
Hello, how you guys doing? First of all, I want to thank Sheila, Rod, Dan, Brad, obviously, for bringing me here. It's something I'm so excited about, and so excited to be able to talk about finally. It's had to be quiet, obviously, for so long, but spending the week out here this week and being here and seeing the city and going downtown and going to dinner and being here with my girlfriend Kristen and being able to spend time here, it's been so eye-opening and so fulfilling for me. I think, you know, what I feel every day being here so far is how badly this city wants and needs to win, and wants and needs their football team to win. And, you know, I'm now the quarterback here, and I'm excited to provide that, and I'm here for questions.
All right, first question, Tim Twentyman, DetroitLions.com.
Hey, Jared, welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
You know, today starts the second chapter of your career. What is it that you want Lions fans to know about you the most?
I'm going to give them everything I got every day. And I think here and what I've learned about this city is that's all they ask for. Just give them everything you got, because that's what these people do. And I come from, that's my background is doing everything you can every single day to be prepared on Sunday. And I've done it obviously in the NFL, but I think going all the way back to when I first started playing football, that's always kind of been my mantra. Leave no stone unturned. Do everything you can. Sunday will take care of itself. And hopefully we can build a winner here together with Dan and Brad and obviously all the other pieces here. But, you know, it's a very exciting time for me, and I'm hoping all Lions fans are excited as well.
Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press.
Hey, Jared, welcome to town.
Thank you.
Two things for you. First, you know, there's been a lot of talk here, I guess, about whether you're the quarterback for 1 year or 2 or 10, or, you know, whether you're a bridge guy or the guy to build around. What has Brad and the organization told you about that? And to what extent do you think this season will determine, you know, what direction you guys go with that?
Yeah, I know they're both very excited to have me, and that's all you can ask for as a player in this league, is to have guys that believe in you, have guys who want you, have guys who are excited about you. And it's my job to do my best every day. This league's full of competition. No matter who's in the building, I've got to compete my ass off every day, and do my best. And I will do that every day, and plan to do that.
And then second, you know, you went through, obviously, I think when you went to Cal, you guys were a 1-win program, and the Rams were 4-12 in your first year. And then, you know, 3 double-digit win seasons the last 4 years. So the Lions, they're in a rebuild right now, and who knows how this season goes. But how have your past experiences, I guess, set you up to navigate this process of leading the organization?
I don't see it as a rebuild at all, to be honest. I know you guys are going to throw that word around. I don't see it as that at all. I think it takes the right pieces to win, but it can happen in one offseason. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and that's the challenge that I think I'm most excited for is this challenge of bringing this team and bringing this city and bringing this culture back to what it should be. And I know it won't happen overnight. I know it won't happen in a week. It won't happen in a month, but it can happen very quickly. It takes the right people, and they're doing it the right way. And I think from all I've heard about Sheila and everything she's done since she got to take over in May, it's really been a special thing so far.
Great. Thank you. Again, welcome to town.
Thank you.
Go to Mike O'Hara, DetroitLions.com.
Yeah, Coach Campbell talked about grit and winning. I just wonder what it means to you that all the stats on your stat sheet, you've won games. What does that mean as a quarterback that you've been able to win?
I think, you know, obviously it's a team sport, so there's, you know, a lot more people involved than just the quarterback. But I think from my standpoint, it's knowing how to win and knowing, you know, what it takes and being there and doing it. I think that is important. I think, you know, I've won playoff games and know what it feels like to be in those moments, and am so excited to hopefully bring that to Detroit. And I think that grit that you talk about is something that this city embodies and something that I've always embodied. And, you know, I'm from California. I played in LA, but I grew up in an area that, you know, does embody that grit. And it's the way I was raised is to do your best every day. And something I've always taken a lot of pride in, like Dan mentioned, is being able to stay on the field. I think that's super important. Availability is the best ability you can have, and I've been pretty consistent at that.
And also the grit part, yeah, the 0-7 start as a rookie and, you know, the one win in Cal. What got you through that on an individual basis without, you know,
Yeah, those are tough. Those are tough times. I think that kind of tests who you are as a man. And I think, you know, looking back on those times, I'm so happy I went through them. I learned a lot about myself, was able to grow a lot, and was able to, you know, draw on that for motivation as time went on. And I still do. You know, I still think back to that 1-11 year and how that felt. And like you mentioned, my rookie year, losing all 7 games that I played in, how that felt and what it took to get out of that and all that I learned from those games. It's so important, I think, to a career to kind of hit the rock bottom at times and be able to climb back up.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Michael Rothstein, ESPN.
Hey, Jared. Echoing everybody, welcome to town. Have you gotten any chance to speak with Sean McVay or Les Snead since the trade happened? And what clarity did they maybe provide to you of when things shifted for you in LA?
Yeah. You know, I've spoken about this publicly earlier in this when the trade went down, and I don't want to harp too much on it. I will say this. I have spoken to them, and I'm so thankful for my time there. I had so many great memories, made so many great friends, have so many great former teammates from there, and you know, there's so much I learned there, and there's no ill will. I want, you know, to move forward with my life and my career, and this is the next chapter. It starts today, but you know, I had so many great times there, and I'm thankful for everything that went on there.
Do you feel like the Rams put you in a position to succeed when you were there, or have we not necessarily seen what you can do?
We had a lot of success there. Yeah, I think, you know, I was able to have a lot of success there, and there was, like I mentioned, there was a lot of good times there, and unfortunately the way it ended is never how you envision it, but it's the way it goes. This league's, the only constant is change in this league, and you know, it's no different every offseason, and just so happens this offseason, and this is part of my change, and I'm excited about it.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kyle Meinke, M Live.
Hey, Jared. Welcome to the D.
Thank you.
There's a lot of changeover going on at receiver. I'm just curious, you know, what kind of relationship you have, if any, with Tyrell Williams and Rashad Pyramid.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans to work out with these guys here going forward?
Yeah, I've texted with both of them. Excited about both of them. I think they're both great pieces. I've seen them from afar around this league making plays, and excited about both of them for sure. I will be working out with them at some point. We're still waiting to hear what the NFL will do for off-season programming, but whenever that may be, we'll get together and we'll get some work in, and I know they're excited for it as well as I am.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Go to Chris Burke with The Athletic.
Hey, Jared, welcome. You mentioned it being a little eye-opening, getting downtown and just hanging out in Detroit.
Yeah.
You obviously are born and raised in California, played pro and college ball there. Just beyond the football aspect of this, what sort of emotions do you have about leaving California and moving somewhere else, and just that experience?
Yeah, it is a good change. It's something I've, you know, never knew I needed until now, and you kind of come out here and you experience it. And like you mentioned, being downtown, I went downtown for dinner twice this week, and seeing, you know, I didn't know much about Detroit until recently, and being down there and seeing, you know, the stadiums are all on the same block and everything's really close, and it is a sports town, and being able to play in a sports town is special. You know, it's something that I'm excited about, and I know football is king here, and I plan to make it a winner.
Do you know any guys, or have reached out to any guys that either are playing here now or have played here that can give you some insight?
Oh yeah, I've talked to a lot of teammates. I've texted a lot of guys, talked to guys that have played here in the past, and everyone's very excited for me as well as I am.
Thanks, Jared.
Thank you.
Go to John Macroom with SI.
Hey, Jared, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I got a couple for you. My first one is, how often do you think about the loss in the Super Bowl and how that can fuel you moving forward to try and get back there again with a new team?
I would say I don't think about it in that regard very often. I do think about it as, you know, a learning experience and something that I can learn from, and trust me, I've thought about it enough to learn from it at this point. I think it's 2 or 3 years ago, but it was a good experience to know how to handle it, hopefully better when you go back, and different ways that you can do different things through the week, and different ways to handle game day, and ultimately not the result you want. So, how can you improve and get better if you get another chance at it?
And then my second question is, just as a player and a competitor, do you take it personally that an organization that you started with traded you to a situation like this at the moment, and you're trying to prove them wrong in your tenure here in Detroit?
Yeah, I think at first, there absolutely. I think it builds that chip on your shoulder a little bit. I won't lie about that. There is that little extra motivation and chip that you do feel, and I again, I am so thankful for all my time there. But yeah, you do feel that. You do feel a little bit of, okay, like, let's see what we can do now.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Go to Larry Lage, AP.
Jared, a quick follow-up. Was one of the people you talked to or text with Matthew Stafford?
I did, yeah. I talked to Matthew right after the trade, and I'll say this on him. I've got so much respect for him and everything he's done here, and everything he's done in the community. Obviously, know his footprint here and everything he's done, and wish him the best. But yeah, I'm excited to start my next chapter here and believe in myself as the guy here.
Can you share anything about that conversation, and how have you picked up how bad fans around here want to win? I know you've been out, but
yeah,
pandemic, like any anecdotes regarding that?
Just everyone I've spoken to has been very, very hungry, and as am I. I mean, it kind of it lines up pretty good for how I'm feeling and how they're feeling, and I know everyone's hungry. And I remember what Dan said in his press conference to start off when he got hired was, I know you guys have heard the same thing over and over, and I'm not here to say the same thing again, but I am here to prove it and here to show you guys and to do it on the field, and the plan is in place, and I know they're doing a great job. And again, I think being out in the city and just seeing how bad people want it, and like you mentioned, yeah, talking to some people and knowing some fans that are from out here and being able to have those conversations, it's been exciting.
Justin Rogers, Detroit News.
Jared, welcome to Detroit.
Thank you.
This might seem like an oversimplification, but you've played the quarterback position two really different ways. You were more of a shotgun guy in college, and then at least the last few years with the Rams, you were more of a under center, a lot of play action. I'm just wondering how playing both styles has maybe helped you develop at this point in your career, and
yeah,
do you think your strengths have changed at all since you've come into the league?
I think I've added a lot of things. Like you mentioned, being under center a lot is something I never really did in college or in high school, really. I started doing that in the NFL, and I think for the majority of my career with the Rams, we were as good as it gets throwing the ball under center. So it's a tool I've added over the last 5 years, and a tool I want to continue to add to. But yeah, I feel comfortable for both shotgun and under center. Shotgun is really what I did growing up, but I've become really comfortable under center.
And I know you've only been here a week, and this trade has only been official for about 24 hours. But I'm just wondering what early conversations have you had with Dan Campbell and Anthony Lynn about what this offense might look like with you at the helm?
Yeah, it's been really good talking to Dan, and I mean, as soon as the night of the trade happened, I was able to get on the phone with him and Aylin and talk to them, and how excited to hear that they were, and it makes you feel good. And specifically to the offense, the plan is in place. I'll let them extrapolate on that a little bit more than I will, but I'm excited to work with Aylin, man. He's been around this league for a long time, has done a lot of great things, and I know he's excited to work with me as well as Brunel and the rest of the offensive staff. I've been able to kind of catch up with them as the week has gone on. I've been in here a couple of times, and seeing them and being able to kind of dive into their stuff and pick their brains as well as them pick mine. It's been good, and it's a good process. That I think another thing I'm most excited about is being able to kind of put my fingerprint on things here. And I know Dan's a new head coach. Aylin's back as a coordinator. Brad's a first-time GM, and it's exciting to have a fresh start in a place that is also having a fresh start, and being able to build up together with them.
Thank you, Jared.
Thank you.
Corey Woods, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Jared, welcome to Detroit. I have a question, of course. So one part of Matthew Stafford's game that Lions fans rallied around was his toughness. In your opinion, what part of your game do you think Lions fans will be able to quickly rally around?
Yeah, I think, I a lot of things. I think I'm similarly tough. I know he's a very tough guy, but I played through a broken thumb about 2 months ago. So I think I've got some toughness to me as well, some grit and some perseverance, and some of that stuff that the city's made of. And I think, a lot of the stuff I've heard so far, and I'm still learning, but a lot of people in this city work blue-collar jobs. They go to work Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, and Sunday is their day to watch the Lions play. and I plan to make that a good day for them.
Mike Stone, 97.1.
Yeah, Jared, welcome. The history of this franchise, one playoff win since 1957. Eric Kramer was the quarterback. Does that give you motivation to do something that very few people have been able to do, or does that put more pressure on you?
Oh, the motivation. I believe it. I think anytime it's really the opportunity. Ultimately, being a place that has wanted that for so long and has been so close, but hasn't been able to get over the top for, a variety of reasons. And, I plan to put us over the top. I plan that be my job is to be the quarterback of this team and put us over the top and get to the playoffs and win multiple playoff games and win a championship.
And one other thing, they have the 7th pick in the draft. Have they told you, reassured you that they're not going to draft a quarterback? And if they did, would that tick you off a little bit?
We've had some discussions about, different things with the draft, and I'll let them, talk about that a little further.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Brad Galley, Channel 7.
Jared, we're going to talk to you so much as the season progresses and as we get through this off season. So today, as I'll ask you a lot of questions about what happened, I'd like to ask you, what got you to the point of that early shock and putting that chip on your shoulder to today, to saying all the right things today and to have that motivation? And can you maybe just describe the frustration you had at first and the shock?
I was disappointed for 2 minutes, and then I spoke to these guys on the phone, and it was like a breath of fresh air. Being able to hear from Dan, being able to hear from Brad, being able to hear from Aylin, people around the organization, Rod, Sheila, everyone, it was immediate. Okay, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to go down. And again, like I said, this league, everything's changing, especially at the quarterback position. It's a constant change around this league, and it's not. I'm not any different than any other player in this league that is available for trade almost every day. So. It's something that I'm so excited for, and I think to answer your question roundabout way, it was very immediate that I was very excited about this opportunity.
Did you have to do some convincing to family and friends who have watched you grow up in California and play in California for a professional team and say, listen, guys, we got to turn the page? Was it tougher for maybe some of the people close to you?
No, not my inner circle. No, they were on board immediately. I think talking to my parents immediately, hearing from them and how excited they were. And how excited they were for me to have a fresh start. My dad actually played professional baseball and played in Indianapolis. He's like, some of my best times of my career were in the Midwest, and he's been telling me how much I'm gonna enjoy it, and I have so far. I mean, I've had such a great time out here this whole week, and I've looked around, looked at some houses, trying to find out where I'm gonna live, and it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
We're going to go 2 more questions, starting with John Neo, Detroit News.
Hey, Jared, I'm just wondering, you mentioned Brad a few times. What's your relationship like with him? And I guess, how much did that put you at ease, just having that history there, I guess?
Yeah, both Brad and Ray, who's here now, Ray Agnew.
Yeah.
Being able to talk to them on the phone and just having familiar faces and having guys who have seen me when I was 21 years old as a rookie and kind of come up into who I am now as a 26-year-old veteran. And they know what I'm about. They know what I bring every day, and they know what I can bring on Sundays. And having those guys believe in me that way is important.
And then second one, if this is sort of a virtual offseason or mostly partly virtual offseason, what kind of challenge is that for a new quarterback trying to sort of become a leader in a new team?
Yeah, it's a challenge either way, if you're new to a team or not. But of course, there's challenges there with a new offense, new players. I'm new to the city, but it's a challenge that I embrace. It's a challenge that I think a lot of teams will have, and a challenge that I embrace and plan to, meet in the middle somewhere and get these guys together and eliminate those, questions about what our offense is going to be and how we're going to feel coming into training camp. We need to get together, we need to throw, we need to work out, and we will.
Thanks.
All right, we will conclude with Stacey Dales, NFL Network.
Hey, Jared, congratulations on your next chapter.
Thank you.
My first, if I may quickly follow up, as you have put the tape on, presumably you have, of as this roster still formulates, but pretty good offensive line and a nice backfield now with the addition of Jamal. What potential do you see with some of the talent that will be in place for you?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the pieces are there. I know, you guys may want to say rebuild. To me, it's not a rebuild. I think the pieces are there. I think I'm a big part of that. I think, like you mentioned, Jamal, some of the pieces we've added, some of the guys that are already here, the offensive line is obviously a strength. It's all there. There's still a lot of hard work to be done, and that's the challenge I think is the most exciting is the hard work and is how good it does feel to put that work in and to come out the other side as a winner and win games with a team that hasn't done it in the past. And it's a fun challenge and an exciting challenge for me. But like I said, I believe all the pieces are there. I know Brad will continue to add as the offseason goes on, but we've got just as good a chance as anyone else to go out there and do our thing.
And then just finally, specifically, and thank you, Eamon, what excites you specifically about playing for Dan? We've heard that he's going to take kneecaps off of the opponent, all of that good stuff, right? Give us a glimpse into what that's been like as you've gotten to know him in this short time.
It's genuine. It's that when he's talking to you guys, it's that when he's talking to me, when he's talking to my girlfriend, it's all the same. He's the same guy every day, and I've enjoyed my time with him so far, and hope to see our relationship continue to grow. And he brings energy, and I think he's a guy that's obviously had opportunities in the past to be a head coach, and he wants this job as well as I do. I want to be here, and I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jared. Thanks, everybody. Hang tight while we reset. We'll bring up Brad Holmes for a few questions to address the trade.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared. Well.
All right. We are back with Brad.
Great to see everyone. We can finally discuss Jared as a Lion, finally, and not have to say we're potentially adding a veteran QB via trade. So it's cool to finally actually confirm and say that Jared is finally a Lion. And can't tell you how excited we are to welcome Jared, his girlfriend Kristen, his rest of his family to the Lions family. We're extremely excited, extremely happy. Seems like ages ago since the trade actually was executed, but couldn't be more excited. Would say for a first year GM, I don't think you could write a story to think of that. To be able to welcome Jared to a franchise twice, and twice through a big trade at that. So Jared, very happy for him. We're very excited to add him. He's a proven winner. His resume speaks for itself. He's won a lot of games. His postseason success, postseason at home, postseason on the road, played in Super Bowls. So again, his resume speaks for itself. He's going to be a big part of what we're doing going forward, and couldn't be more excited to have him. But just on a, more of a personal note, just as soon as Jared, as soon as we made the trade when the Rams made the trade for Jared back in 2016, still remember that we'd be watching film in the draft room, and Jared would walk by the draft room and he'd pop his head in there and ask if we're looking at any Cal Bears. And so now it'd be pretty cool to see if he still pops in, me as a GM, and still asks if we're looking at any Cal Bears to draft. But I always thought that was pretty cool that he'd do that every now and then. So again, super cool to be going through this experience, and not a better person than Jared to go through this. But without any other ado, we'll turn it over to any questions you might have.
Justin Rogers.
Hey, Brad, can I just start and ask you what involvement you had with scouting Jared ahead of the trade and the selection in Los Angeles?
Yeah, a lot. So obviously I was college director at the time, and so did a lot of work, did a lot of evaluation on Jared. Never forget, I saw Jared play at Stanford, and immediately saw that game and came back. And I think after like the second series, I said, "Wow!" I was like, "This is the guy." And so, and I believe I mentioned it before in previous session that when Les Snead, asked me one-on-one, if I would be interested, or what I would be on board for trading up to number 1 overall pick. I believe we're at 15 at the time. Trade up to 1. Would I do it, and for who? He didn't speak a specific name, or he didn't throw out any other QBs? And I said, yeah, I'd do it for Goff. And he just said, all right, thanks, and just walked off. And so, I'm not sure if that was a turning point to really convince him to do it, but I do know that, a lot of us were on board with making the move to trade up, and we were very excited then, and we're still excited now after this recent trade.
I just wanted to squeeze one more in here, Brad. I know you guys weigh all the different scenarios and situations as you're making these decisions. What thought, if any, have been given to maybe restructuring Jared's contract, one, to free up cap space this year, and two, to kind of reaffirm a commitment to him going forward?
Yeah, well, all the we have already thought about, and just like you said, everything is thought strategically and in the future, and for what's for the best for the future of the Lions. So all of that has been taken into place, and so but with respect to the process and where is that from a contractual standpoint, we'll keep those in house, but we wouldn't do anything to compromise the future of our franchise.
It's worth a try. Thank you, Brad.
Nice try. I like it.
Dave Burkett.
I'll try on a couple too. So you obviously saw Jared Goff as being a franchise quarterback, way back when, if you were willing to trade up to him. So how about now? What do you see him as now, and how does that mesh with what you said about having the number 7 pick and being open to taking a quarterback?
Yeah, so seeing him now, I do expect Jared to come in and start to be our starting quarterback. I don't see anything other than that. And then in respect to where we're at 7 overall with the draft, and regarding the quarterback position, is like I've told you guys previously, and it hadn't changed, that, when you're picking inside the top 10, you're not in a position to ignore any positions. You're just not. So, the quarterback position is very important. And if the value's there and if the right guy's there, then, he'd be in heavy consideration if the right players there and the value's there. But so this doesn't change anything that we've spoke about previously regarding the draft. But we do expect Jared to come in and compete to be a starter.
Be a starter for now, but how about long term? Can he be the guy here to build around? Is he, people have used the word stopgap. How do you, weigh those things, I guess?
Well, I'll say this. Part of the compensation that we received for the trade, and I know a lot of people talk about the picks, but a lot of it was Jared. It's just the fact that, being able to acquire Jared. So that's the part that sometimes gets kind of not, I don't want to say lost, but it's like, okay, we got 3rd round pick and 2 ones, but to have Jared. So, and again, like I said earlier, his resume speaks for itself. He's a proven winner. So for him to compete for the starting quarterback position and, winning the starting quarterback position, definitely expect him to reclaim that status. And I've never, had any doubts that he can be. And again, his resume speaks for itself. So we all know what he's accomplished and done.
Appreciate it. Just one last thing that I'll squeeze in. Why did you not tag Kenny Galladay?
With respect to the process ongoing through free agency, I'm not going to comment on anything regarding that.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Got time for 3 more. We'll go Chris Burke, Bob Wodowski, and Carlos.
Hey, Brad. I guess I just wanted to kind of follow up on what you were saying there, just your relationship with Goff, trusting Jared. Were you specifically looking to get a quarterback back as you were sort of starting the conversations and trading Matthew, or specifically looking to get Jared back, or did this just sort of happen organically?
Well, there was quite a number of teams, not to say anyone specifically, but quite a number of teams that had all aggressive offers. And so when we started discussions with the Rams and with Les, obviously, that's when Jared came into play, and I did think that, out of all the aggressive offers and competitive offers that we were weighing, that to be able to acquire a quarterback at the status level is what Jared has accomplished. I thought that was very, very intriguing from a compensation standpoint.
Thank you.
Bojo?
Yeah, Brad, if I could take the Jared Goff thing and make it a little bit more global, so to speak. The entire offseason so far, the subtractions and the acquisitions, has it been even more expansive than you thought you would have to go when you first took over, or has it been following the pattern and the path that you thought it would?
Yeah, that's a good question. I did know, coming in, approaching this offseason and, starting off with free agency, I obviously knew there's some decisions that had to be made, and Dan and I sat down and we had a plan in place in terms of how will we approach, the current roster that was already in place, and how are we going to just continue to build the players that are Lions and that fit the culture and the standards that we're looking for. And so going through that process with Dan, it was fairly easy to just, you heard me say, kind of trust our process, and that's what we've done so far. And so not trying to calculate, how many do we subtract and how many do we add, but just making the best decisions for the franchise, for the Lions, and just, again, adding players that we seem as fit and that are going to be up to our standards for what we want to do going forward.
Just a quick follow-up. Who are you drafting at number 7? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
I'll take any help I can get. So if you have a name.
Oh, you'll get some help, I'm sure.
Carlos?
Yeah. Hey, Brad. With Jared, what is it you feel can help him be successful and give back to that success he had earlier in his career with the Rams when you were there? Is it a new voice as his coach? Is it scheme? What kind of things do you see to get him back to where he was?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm following where he actually dropped off. So I'm not sure about the get back. Again, he's won a lot of games throughout his tenure with the Rams. So, Jared just has to be Jared. And, the talent and the arm talent and everything is easy to see. The toughness is what's extremely impressive. But, when you look back at, draft in 2016, wasn't the starter the whole year in 2016. So, subtracting that. But when you start with 2017, all the way as current as this past season, you talk about winning games. He's up there. He's up there among some of the best in terms of QB wins starting back from 2017 since he's been full-time starter. So not really sure, about him getting back, but we will make sure that he is surrounded with the right pieces in place, the right structure in place. We have a phenomenal coaching staff. So we don't have any doubt that he can still be the winner that he's already proven to be going forward.
Well, just if I can try this just another way, do you understand why that relationship didn't work with the Rams? Do you know how to kind of avoid any of the pitfalls that may have led to the, dissolution of that relationship and make him a winner or win consistently with the Lions?
Well, I'm not going to speculate, or I'm not going to comment on, anything about his time with the Rams, because right now, Jared is a Lion. And so that's all we're focused on is Jared and what he'll do for our franchise and what he'll, show this fan base, this very passionate fan base. So, the relationships that he will have, that it's already started with our coaching staff and with his teammates, his new teammates, that's off to a good start now. So, and that's really what we're focused on, and that's what's most important.
All right, Mike Rothstein, sorry I skipped you. We'll go last question.
Yeah, no worries. I kind of want to get a little bit more of the trade itself. I know you talked a little bit about it a few questions ago, but was part of the offers when you were looking at that maybe trying to find some sort of quarterback to come back in the deal? Like, because there have been rumors that Teddy Bridgewater maybe is in the Carolina situation. Like, was that something that y'all were considering as part of this?
Well, it's always, when you're, I guess, go back to your addition and subtract, or what the question was asked earlier about adding and subtracting players, is that when you're possibly losing a starting quarterback, to be able to add a starting quarterback within the package from a compensation standpoint, that's very, very intriguing. So I can't say going in that, we were specifically looking for that. And again, out of all the offers that were being discussed, they were all aggressive, competitive offers. But, the ability to add not only just a quarterback, but a quarterback of Jared's, success in his record and all that he's done in the league was very, very intriguing. We're very excited about that.
And if I could slip one in, not on Jared, but on Romeo, what was it that you saw and Dan saw that you wanted to make him potentially a foundational piece here going forward?
Yeah, well, we'll discuss more details on the other acquisitions, but Romeo, he was a guy that we identified early on in the process of, you always hear about, you're trying to keep your own, and when you have core players that are good football players that represent all the qualities that Romeo does, and it starts off with his effort. He's a guy that plays hard, and we talk about intangibles, and I do think that intangibles show on film at times. And so Romeo's a guy that his intangibles show in terms of the passion that he displays on the field and how hard he plays. So he was an easy one to identify early on, Dan and I, to make a strong push to make sure that we can do everything we can to re-sign him back.
Cool. Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Brad. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey.
I think it's the city. I think it's the people. It's a different place than most people understand, I think. The city's heartbeat and the city's perseverance and who these people are is something that I really am excited to play for and to win for. Nice. That's awesome. Love it. Very cool. Honolulu Blue.
There's three things that I think about with Jared Goff. He's tough, he's durable, and most importantly, he's a winner. He has won in this league. I love his quiet confidence. I know he's hungry. Man, we were thrilled to have this guy. So without further ado, Jared Goff.
I didn't know much about Detroit until recently, and being down there and seeing, it is a sports town, and being able to play in a sports town is special. It's something that I'm excited about, and I know football is king here, and I plan to make it a winner. I'm excited to work with A-Lin, man, as well as Brunel and the rest of the offensive staff. How's it going?
How's it going? We got you, man.
Good, man. Good, man. I think it takes the right pieces to win, but it can happen in one offseason. It's going to take a lot of hard work, and that's the challenge that I think I'm most excited for, is bringing this team and bringing this city and bringing this culture back to what it should be.